Great. And one of your sort of major campaigning promises is to deliver $500 million worth of savings through finding out where waste is and basically fixing that. You mentioned waste earlier. Where is the biggest area of waste?
So there's a number. So if you look at the 10-year plan, and so what I've done is gone through that in as much detail as I can, and looked at areas and initiatives that don't line up to the priorities of Auckland. So how I will deliver that is, one, by replicating that initiative once I'm in, which is a line-by-line review of all spend to make sure it's lined up to priorities.
Okay.
Two, targeting areas of duplication, for example, in staff costs and staff accountabilities. There's duplication across council and CCOs, that controlled organisations.
Right.
That's another one. So there are a couple of examples of, and just by going back to the core council services and getting really good at those, and then once we're great at those, then we can kind of look at what we do.
And on the staff costs you mentioned there, I know they were $63 million over the budget of $793 million in 2015. And as you rightly pointed out at another talk you did, that if you're in business and they haven't, you'd be fired. So, I mean, A, this shouldn't be happening, but sort of B, I mean, how are you going to, by having a reduction that's going to be 5 to 10% reduction is what you're aiming for, which will equate to $40 to $80 million worth of savings. So how are you going to do that?
But there's a number of ways. So by implementing a sinking lid policy, which is where, for the majority of roles, if a person leaves, you don't replace it. And what that forces you to do in business is to think how you are efficiently running your organisation. So that's number one. Number two is targeting duplication in areas of responsibility. So there's an innovation unit in council, and there's AT as well. So, we'll just have it in one place. And the third area is actually to have a look at the management structures. So the number of people being paid over $100,000 has doubled in the last 5 years. So we do need to have a look as, is there too much bureaucracy in management across council?
And the one thing you didn't mention there, obviously, there's 100 people in communications. So you would think that probably some redundancies will need to occur. Is that something you're going to look at?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the communications department is one that is constantly mentioned as a opportunity. And I think, again, it comes down to, we were talking before this interview around, if you've got a good staff culture but a disengaged customer base, and you see that that's not a good thing. And I think that's what we see in Auckland Council, is a PR department that is constantly trying to tell great things about council, which doesn't resonate with the public. So you've got these kind of arrows firing at each other. So part of slimming down the communications department is, let's have less arrows and more reality around actually what council are delivering.